Hey everyone, Joe here with the I Know Prepper channel, and today I am here to answer the question I'm sure you've all been waiting for, which is the best chili for your prepper pantry? Let's find out. Okay, so as you can see, I have 6 canned chilies in front of me here, and I'm just going to kind of run through each one in order. I'll give you a basic breakdown of the calories and the fat content and things like that, and then we're going to do a taste test. So the first canned chili I have here is this Wendy's chili. So this is a chili that I have actually just started seeing showing up in different stores. So they're selling this at Costco by the case. I think they're selling it by like an eight pack, and you can buy them individually at Walmart as well. Okay, and the next chili we have here is this Yellowstone Angus beef chili. So I believe this is a new chili too. I just noticed this at Walmart. So I think this is inspired by the television show Yellowstone, which I've never seen. I have heard of it, but I haven't watched it. But excited to try this chili out. All right, next up we have this stag chili. It's the classic chili with beans. So we're probably all familiar with stag chili. They've been around a long time, and this is just a pantry favorite. And then, of course, we have our Hormel chili with beans. So we're all familiar with this chili. This is a pretty classic type of chili. And I've tried it before, but it's been a while since I've tasted it. So I'm excited to see how it does compared to these chilies. And then here we have this Cattle Drive Gold chili with beans. So this is actually a chili that I think is just exclusive to Costco. You can buy this by the case, and it's just a really good deal. I think a whole case, like a 12 pack, is about $15.99. So it's a really good deal. I have tried this before, but it's been a long time. So I'm interested to see how this does compared to the rest of the chilies. And last but not least, we have our Nally thick chili with beans. So we're all familiar with this chili. It's a classic chili. It's been around a long time. Believe it or not, this is actually only a 14-ounce can of chili, whereas the rest of these are all 15-ounce. So I was kind of wondering why it was cheaper than the rest, and then I noticed it was a little bit less. So a little shrinkflation going on with the Nally chili. Okay, so first up we have the Wendy's chili. So this is actually the most expensive of all the chilies. You're looking at about $4.42 for one can of this chili. And I believe, I'm not quite sure what the case price is on this. You probably save a little bit more money buying it by the case, but it is quite a bit more expensive than these chilies. So for the calorie intake on this canned chili, and just keep in mind this is just per serving, which is a cup of chili. So the total fat content is 12 grams, saturated fat is 5 grams, the cholesterol is 65 milligrams, your sodium is 1040 milligrams, which is pretty much the highest sodium intake of all these chilies. Your fiber is 7 grams. The carbohydrates is 26 grams. The sugar is 6 grams. And your protein, you're looking at 17 grams. So that's the content for the Wendy's chili. All right, next up, we're looking at the Yellowstone Angus beef chili. So this is like the second most expensive. So you're looking at about $3.68 per can. That's the retail price. Obviously, you know, this stuff goes on sale. You can probably save a buck or so. So your calorie content, you're looking at 290 calories per cup, 16 grams of fat, 6 grams of saturated fat, 70 milligrams of cholesterol, 790 milligrams of sodium, 26 grams of carbohydrates, 6 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and 21 grams of protein. Okay, next up we have the Stag Chili Classic with beans. So you're looking at about $2.48 per can. That is the Walmart price, keep in mind. And you're looking at about 290 calories per serving, 13 grams of fat per serving, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, 30 milligrams of cholesterol, 990 milligrams of sodium, 26 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, 9 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. And then we have our Hormel chili with beans. So the price on this, you're looking at about $2.28 per can. This chili has about 290 calories per serving. It's 9 grams of fat, 3.5 grams of saturated fat, 25 milligrams of cholesterol, 990 milligrams of sodium, 31 grams of carbohydrates, 7 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. And then we have our Cattle Drive Gold chili from Costco. So this chili, if you were to buy it, buy the case, because I couldn't find a per can price. This chili, it looks as if it's only sold in the case. So a 12 pack case of this chili runs you about $15.99, which breaks down to about $1.99 per can. So this chili has 290 calories, 12 grams of fat, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, 45 milligrams of cholesterol, 940 milligrams of sodium, 26 grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. And then the last chili we have here is the Nally Thick Chili Con Carne with beans. So remember, this is the 14-ounce can chili, whereas all these are 15. So it is by far the cheapest. It's coming in at $1.99 per can. The calorie intake per serving on this chili is 280 calories, 10 grams of fat, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, 20 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,130 milligrams of sodium, 33 grams of carbohydrates, 7 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 17 grams of protein. Okay, so the way I'm going to be doing this taste test is I'm just basically going to cook 2 cans of chili at a time and basically kind of just taste test them up against each other. And I'm going to be resetting my palate here with some of this lemon lime sparkling water. So I basically researched how to kind of conduct a proper taste test with anything, and they always say you want to reset your palate each time you try a different food. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And so we'll start off with, let's see, these two up against each other. So it's going to be Stag chili versus Hormel chili. I should also probably mention that the only 2 cans of chili that don't have the pop tops are the Nally chili and the Wendy's chili. So the other 4 have the pop top lids. Kind of a nice feature if you're in a survival situation and you don't have access to a can opener. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to be cooking my chili on this Coleman camp stove. So go ahead and I'm going to pour in our Stag chili with beans and our Hormel chili with beans. Get our burners going. And we'll start cooking this chili. Okay, so just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and place both of the cans of chili that I'm taste testing here behind the pots that they're cooking in. All right, so just to show you, our Stag chili, I will say, seems a little thinner than our Hormel chili over here. All right, so our chili is about done. I'll go ahead and turn the burners off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my first can of chili. This is the Stag chili in our cup here. And then I'm going to put the Hormel chili in this cup here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give the Hormel chili the first taste test. That's a pretty good chili. That's going to be hard to beat. It's kind of like the perfect consistency. Not too thick, not too sweet. Probably a little on the saltier side, but that's pretty good. I'll give it one more taste test for a good measure. Pour myself a glass of the sparkling water here and reset the palate. All right, now for our Stag chili. So right off the bat, this is a sweeter chili and smokier. So, you know, if you're a fan of sweet chili, this is pretty good, but I'm not really a fan of sweet chili, but it's still good. I like the smokiness, and it has like big chunks of meat in here, so that's pretty good. And this one actually has green peppers in it. You can actually see the green peppers in here, whereas you can't see them in here. And I think the Hormel chili, it just has chili beans, whereas this Stag chili, I think, has both chili beans and kidney beans. So that's pretty good. It's definitely a more hearty chili, even though it seemed thinner. The chunks of meat in here are pretty big, whereas the meat in here is just more like ground up and chopped up. So if you're looking for like a sweeter, heartier, smokier chili, the Stag chili is pretty good. All right, I'm gonna set these aside and we're gonna start our next two chilies. All right, next up we have our Cattle Drive Gold chili with beans from Costco. And we have our Nally thick chili con carne with beans. And that is definitely a thick chili. And our Nally chili is going to require a can opener. Let's get these chilies cooking. So right off the bat, our Cattle Drive Gold chili actually has a little bit more pleasant of a look, whereas the Nally thick chili, not quite so much. I guess it depends on how you like your chili to look, but I just think this one looks a little better. It's got more of a reddish color, and the liquid just seems a little more consistent. All right, our chili is about done, so I'm going to turn the burners off. This is our Cattle Drive Gold chili from Costco, and this is our Nally thick chili. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try the Nally chili first. Not what I was expecting. It's not a whole lot of flavor, to be honest. Very subtle flavor, little on the salty side. So far, it's okay. That one's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and try our Cattle Drive Gold chili, but not before I reset my palate here. And we're going to try our Cattle Drive Gold chili. That's a good chili. It's a little bit like the Stag chili, but not quite as sweet and not quite as smoky. But it's got a little more sweetness. Definitely more sweet than this one, and more smoky, but a lot more flavorful for sure. Give it one more taste test here for good measure. Yeah, that's pretty good. Definitely, it outperformed the Nally's chili. So, gonna definitely have to hand it to the Cattle Drive Gold chili from Costco. That's pretty good. Not sure if it's as good as the Hormel chili, but they're about neck and neck. It's probably pretty close, flavor wise. All right, well, I'm gonna set these aside, and I'm going to open up our final two competitors, which is the Wendy's chili and the Yellowstone chili. Let's start off with the Yellowstone chili here, and this has a pop top, and this is the one with the Angus beef. So that is a pretty thick chili. And the Wendy's chili, which needs a can opener. It's definitely a heartier looking chili than the Yellowstone, and it looks like it has green peppers in it. You can see the green peppers in there. Interesting about the Wendy's chili that I haven't noticed with any of the other chilies is you can see chunks of red tomato in here, and it looks like fresh red tomato. It's kind of interesting. All right, let's get these chilies cooking. You can see we have our Yellowstone Angus beef chili. Looks really good. And then our Wendy's chili, which looks really good. Definitely a darker color than this one. As you can see, that's like a piece of tomato right there. All right, our chilies are about done cooking. So I'll turn the heat off and put the Yellowstone chili in this cup here. And then our Wendy's chili in this cup here. All right, so I think the first one I will taste test is the Yellowstone chili. So much different flavor wise from all the other chilies so far. So can't quite place that flavor. It's just it's very unique. Not sure if I'm a fan of it or not. I'm pretty picky when it comes to my chili. The Angus beef in here pretty much just tastes like the beef that was in the other chili. I think it was the Cattle Drive Gold chili that had the beef in there. So it's pretty on par with that. As far as the flavor, it's just kind of a unique flavor. It's a little difficult to describe, kind of smoky. It's pretty well balanced flavor. Little on the spicy side. Definitely feeling some heat from it. But yeah, I'd say overall it's pretty good. It's definitely the meatier of all of the chilies so far. So it's packed with not only the big chunks of Angus beef, but then there's ground beef in here as well. So if you're looking for like a hearty, meaty chili, this is probably what you want. All right, let's reset the palate again for the last time. It was definitely a spicy chili, the Yellowstone. I was kind of surprised that it was so spicy. Not burning your mouth off spicy, but spicy. You can definitely feel some heat. All right, so for the chili that we've all been waiting for, this is the Wendy's chili. Definitely a hearty chili. It's smoky. That's the first flavor I'm getting. I'm not familiar with Wendy's chili. I think I maybe had it once, like 10 years ago or more. So I can't really tell you how on par the Wendy's canned chili is to the restaurant chili, but it's definitely thick. So I'd say it's twice as thick as all the other chilies so far. The other thing that's different about this chili is that the ground beef that's in here is heartier, whereas the ground beef in the rest of the chilies is, you can tell, has just been ground up more and it's just smaller pieces, but the ground beef in here is a lot thicker. So consistency wise, it tastes like homemade chili. Flavor wise, I got to be honest. The one thing I'll say about all of these chilies that I've tasted so far is they all taste like canned chili, if you know what I mean. It just kind of has that back taste of canned chili or canned food. I guess there's just no way of getting around that when you put food in a can. But I will say that by far this is the closest to like homemade chili that you're gonna get in a can, just in terms of like its hardiness and the vegetables that are in here, the beans, everything has, it's very firm texture wise. So it almost tastes like fresh chili. It's a little sweeter than I normally like my chili, but other than that, it's pretty good. So I have to say, the Wendy's chili versus the Yellowstone chili, I definitely have to say that the Wendy's chili comes out on top. All right, you guys, well, the results are in, and I have to say that was actually kind of a difficult taste test. They were all, pretty good for the most part, with the exception of one at the end here. But I will say that I had to kind of place these two chilies at the top. So, I got to give it to Wendy's. The canned chili was, like I said, it tasted the healthiest. It was the more heartier of all the chilies. And so for that, I kind of put it at the front. And, the flavor and the taste was pretty good. However, in my opinion, I like the Hormel chili the best flavor wise. I just feel like the flavors were a lot more consistent and even, so not too salty, not too sweet. So in my opinion, I like the flavor of the Hormel. Plus I kind of put it up front because it just won out the Wendy's chili, because it's just a lot cheaper than the Wendy's chili. So I'm gonna give it the #1 spot as far as a prepper pantry chili, just because of the price and the taste. And then the Cattle Drive chili, this I would have to say, as far as a prepper pantry chili goes, this would probably be neck and neck with the Hormel chili, just because this was probably the cheapest chili of all the chilies, and it was the best tasting of the cheap chilies. I liked the Hormel better, but this was pretty close. I would say these three chilies right here, taste-wise, are pretty even. But if you're looking for a cheap chili that you can buy by the case, this is the way to go. And then we have the Stag chili, which was it was pretty good. It was a little sweeter than I like, and the price point was a little high. But other than that, I give this at least a B+. And then we had our Yellowstone chili, and so I was a little disappointed. I thought this was going to taste a little better. But like I said, it is like a pretty beefy chili. So if you're looking for a really meaty chili, this is the way to go. But the flavor was just a little odd to me. And definitely it wasn't the cheapest of the chilies. I think it was just a little bit cheaper than the Wendy's. So I'm just going to go ahead and have to give this one probably, I don't know, a C+, B-. And then coming in last, we had the Nally thick chili. So yeah, I mean, right out the starting gate, I didn't like this chili just because it came in with the 14 ounce instead of the 15 ounce. So just right out the start gate, there's a little bit of trickery going on with the shrinkflation thing. And so that was a little disappointing. And then, you know, the flavor wasn't very good. The look of it wasn't very good. And just not a whole lot I can say about the Nally Thick chili other than it's cheap. So I'm going to have to give this one a C minus. Alright guys, well that'll about do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments for me, let me know in the comment section if there are chilies that you think that I should try, or if you what you think my opinion was on these different chilies. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that notification bell at the top of your screen, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up button. And until the next time, stay prepared. Well, I'm probably going to have to get my sleeping bag and pillow and set up shop in here tonight, because I doubt I'm going to be allowed upstairs after this video.